Yeah. What we see in Jeremiah or during Jeremiah's time and being conveyed in the books of Baruch is a monumental reset. It's a reestablishment. It is a repositioning of power. It is the passing of a baton, a change of age. As many say, okay, well, there are 12 ages and there are 12 astrological houses and all these different things. And just as one is born within a particular astrological house, you can consider that an age. Yet when that time frame to be able to capture the essence of that house has passed, there is a passing of a baton, a change of age, a reset that happens. And that is in the transitioning into the beginning of a new age, the new dominant aspects of a new house, transitions of power from an old energy, ideology, way of living to a new. What we see in the book of Baruch and being conveyed in the book of Jeremiah is this exact same thing as it relates to the earth and the house of Israel. Very important. This book conveys the change. It's a change of, you could call it monarchy. It's a change of dominance. It goes from the dominance of Israel, the Hebraic house, to the dominance of another house. And it all has to do with what God allows. The change in leadership, the change in ownership, the change in reign is solidified, is coalesced by the blessing of God. This is what gives it power. It is a legitimate inheritance. It is a legitimate change. It's not one that Israel can fight and say, we're depending on God to help us overtake these people because they have wrongly taken the scepter of power. No. This, in fact, has been crafted by God, handcrafted. And this is what makes it so numbing to these people. They are dumbfounded. They can't say anything. And God does it in the face of everybody. All of Israel's enemies know this. They are first in line, competing against one another to be the ones given the power next. You see, it would be as if they would not know who would be able to inherit this power, but they would know that somebody would get it. They wouldn't know that when God would do it. But it seems as if they would know when we look at the activities of these people all throughout the Old Testament, there would be a silver lining in the activities of all of these neighboring nations, the Gentile nations, which provoked them to focus so much on these people to get them off track, so that when the time came, they would not be worthy of keeping such a title. And that God would be bound in a way to open the gates for other people to capture this energy. But these people would not understand that. And because they didn't understand that, it didn't matter. It happened anyway. They just were dumbfounded. They were surprised. They were the only ones surprised. The other nations were not surprised at this. In fact, the other nations were expecting it. This is why they work night and day to learn these people the way that they did, and to focus all of their attention on managing these people at a distance, so that when the time came, God could say, yeah, they may have done some wrong in turning you, but you knew better. I can't micromanage what everybody around you does just so that you don't get distracted. I've put in you everything you need to get the job done. I've walked with you. I've given you signs and wonders. I've given you written law that you could have amongst yourself when I'm not able to walk with you. I've given you all kinds of physical, tangible items that you can use as resource to tap into me if you ever are confused as to what you should do. Ephods and arks of the covenant. I've set your system up, bodily system up, in a way that I'm always with you. And I've given you a crown of sovereignty, an executive position in this earth as king and queens of this plane. For you to manage yourself, your kingdom, as such. But they wouldn't do it. 2 Baruch, chapter 1. And it came to pass